For Essay 3, there's two parts. First is the annotated bib in APA format, which we'll be going over next week. And the second is the presentation. And the presentation is also done in APA format. And I'll point out throughout the presentation what exactly qualifies a presentation to be an APA. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about how I came up with my idea, how I researched it, and my philosophy on why I chose something like this. Now, in my personal opinion, your education is something that is yours. And because of that, it's something that you can mold yourself. Now, that way of thinking is kind of how I decided on this topic. Obviously, this topic is very risque. And in most academic circles, it would probably be, at face value at least, it'd probably be definitely out of nowhere. So in particular, why I chose this topic, it's because I wanted to be bold and I wanted to choose something that not everybody was going to do and no one would have seen coming. And this is kind of the way I always look at things. And I came to this realization actually when I was in my sophomore year of high school. A girl in my class was doing a presentation on, I forget what the exact parameters were, but she ended up doing a presentation on bees and how bees are slowly going extinct, which is still the case. And I don't know if any of you have had this class before, but if you've ever seen your classmates do presentations and they just pick the most stereotypical topics, your run-of-the-mill topics, stuff that you've already seen or learned about. And that's basically, I always make this chain of thought. I call it the bee presentation. Pick something that's out of the box, something that's exotic, something that's not been done before. And that's kind of what I came to hear. So I personally have interest in video games and anime and what else? Comic books. I like DC movies, Marvel movies, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with the sex industry? Because originally what my focus was going to be on was just the sex industry. But I'm like, what is a trend that I could point out in the sex industry in particular? And I'm like, okay, cosplay. So I know it's a long chain of events there, but and a little bit of a rant, but that's how I came to this topic. One thing is for sure, it was very hard to research. But how I researched this topic was simply going to the library, and I spent a few hours each day with a librarian, just talking to him about my topic, and he would, search for me through the databases and online, and we would be looking for anything, anything really. One of the first sources I found was a 18-page paper peer-reviewed on how in the gay community, they're like 70s, 60s, more of the late 70s and early 80s, how in the gay community it was a prevalent thing to see them dress up in uniforms like biker uniforms or sailor uniforms. Um, and that was kind of a direction that a lot of the research went into was um, a lot in the gay community, but it wasn't exactly what I was trying to look for. So um, I ended up using a few different sources to kind of make up one kind of central point, and that's kind of how my presentation is styled. So speaking of presentation, let's get into it. So these are just what I'm going to cover in the presentation. So for me, cosplay was about the costume, right? So my first thought was, let's learn about the history of costumes, of people wearing costumes. And something that I could relate it to the most was in the 15th century Irish paganism. It was tradition to wear costumes to hide yourself from spirits, and translate that to the Irish immigration and a lot more of an Irish population in America. Um, that turned into a holiday called Halloween, or was given the name Halloween. It was always that was always the holiday. You would share treats and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. So, anyways, it was marketed, and kids would wear costumes from their favorite cartoons, like Steamboat Willie, um, and this was in the 1930s. And then how that related to moving forward was in the 30s, you had the first World Science Fiction Fair, and then you fast forward to 1939, you have Forrest J. Ackerman and Myrtle Rebecca Douglas, the first two people to show up to a convention, science fiction convention, wearing a costume from their favorite show. So that's kind of the chain of events. So I went from the history of what costuming is, and then how that related to a a semi-modern event, that being the science fiction fair. So fast forward to where we get the word cosplay. It was in a Japanese journal in 1987, and then Cosplay Today. And I did some metrics on it with the number, and with different facts about it. And this is where I'll point as I've been doing throughout the whole presentation. Each photo that I introduced, you have to include the source, and that's kind of one of the parts of the APA format presentation, is that each photo has a link to its original source, and that's just to give the author credit or the owner credit. Um, very important. So then I went into camming, where camming started. Then I went into camming today, and then this is where you start to see the cosplay part come in. And then I came to the final conclusion of my slideshow, and this is kind of where you finish out your argument. So for me, my actual end point was that the camming industry, besides having 65% be made up of cosplayers, is that it's very lucrative, and the combination of a $17.8 billion industry of regular cosplay with the camming industry, which is over millions of dollars. There's a correlation between which cam personalities have more viewers compared to regular cam. cam girls. So right here, I would have pointed out this woman right here. She's wearing, oh, hold on. She's wearing a costume from the video game Overwatch. So she's cosplaying a character, and she has 11,861 viewers, as opposed to just about every other girl here who is averaging around 1,000 to 2,000 viewers per, but she has 11,000 viewers. So there's a correlation of having more viewers. And then there's also the aspect of the marketing, which people look more towards the cosplay camming industry as a way to not just see the girl perform sexual acts, but also the character that they love. So if you were into that character from Overwatch right there, then you would be interested in watching her stream. And it's about, so essentially it's about the story behind the character and watching them do something. So that was kind of my presentation. Now, after it's all said and done, you have to include all the links of the photos in your presentation, as well as the information you use from your annotated bibliography. And in a presentation, instead of using works cited or thank you to or what have you, you use references. And this is where you put in all of your information on what links you used, where it came from, and the people in the photos. Yeah, so these are kind of the key takeaways from here, from my video. Come up with a cultural trend that can be seen in modern day, as well as a chain of events of where it comes from, and then do an annotated BIM. After that, make a presentation where you have a mix of photos and videos, or, well, you don't have to do videos, but if you want to do videos, you can. But a mix of photos with, assortments of information that you got on them. And in the photos, make sure in the slides with the photos, make sure you include cite the location of where you got the photos. And then at the end of your presentation, come to a end conclusion, or at least answer your question, whatever your question may be. For me, it was, what effect does cosplay have on the camming industry? What I found at the end of my slideshow is that, first, cosplay is a very prevalent part of the camming industry, and second, it is also it is more lucrative than regular cam girls. So so that was my end conclusion, and it's going to be different for you, obviously, because of different topics, but you want to have your end conclusion at the end, and then you want to cite your work in a reference slide, depending on how many links you have. And yeah, that's how you do a presentation for SA3. If you want more knowledge on this, if you want more knowledge on your topic in particular, I suggest you first look up some history on your topic. Today, I was helping a student, today, the 10th of March, I was helping a student of 2021. I was helping a student look into cultural appropriation of celebrities. Um, and the first thing I told her to do is simply look up a Wikipedia on it. Um, and I'm not saying you should use Wikipedia as a source, but use Wikipedia as a way to get a sense for what direction you should go in. Uh, the information may not be accurate, so it's not that trustworthy, but at least gives you an idea of what type of information you could be expecting. And from there, you know, look up some, maybe some, research articles in the databases, or, reach out to a librarian and maybe they could help you find something on your topic. So, anywho, if you have any more questions, just email me, and I can help you out, or attend SI sessions from Mondays, uh, Mondays from 3 to 4, and Wednesdays from 3 to 4 p.m. Yeah. So good luck.